take apart all
We did it! Thank you, James.
Yeah, of course. We met quite a while ago. We met in middle school, actually. So we're from the same hometown, and we didn't start dating until.
Alright, I'm about to give Ryan a blind test on the florals that we've reached out to see what he thinks.
Like, I don't think this arrangement looks that nice. How they like I might not like the flowers, but I can see how.
And those ones look better?
Yeah, like this is beautiful. But even though I don't like to have the ice.
What are the yeses?
1, 2, and 3. Who is it?
Okay, so 1 and 2 are the same florist. They're the same.
Okay.
They're the one you said no to earlier.
Okay.
This one is Georgia. This one is Gabby. This is the cutest thing. So I've been bugging Ryan to hurry up and make a plan to ask your groomsmen because he just will always lag things unless there's like a push. And he decided to make individual cards for each one.
only 말투가 날 괴로워해 내 심장이 막 두근두근 터질 것 같아 눈이 마주칠 때면 미쳐가 매일 밤 가슴이 터질 때다 너도 날 똑같이 사랑해줄래 네가 돌아볼 때마다 고백 연습하는 나 I just wanna make you mine until the end. My summer bed. When you're not around, the sunlight fades, so don't go. It's only bright when you are near. Seasons come and go, but I don't want this one to go. Just say you'll stay, so we can keep on falling. 매일 밤 가슴이 터질 듯한 너도 날 똑같이 사랑해줄래 네가 돌아볼 때마다 고백 연습하는 나 I just wanna make you mine until the end 매일 밤 가슴이 터질 때다 너도 날 똑같이 사랑해줄래 네가 돌아볼 때마다 고백 연습하는 나 I just wanna make you mine until the end.
Hello. So I polled on Instagram to see if y'all had any wedding related questions, and so we're just going to answer a few right now. I thought it might be helpful to answer some questions along the way, and also sometimes things might change, so just to document what we think right now. And we jotted down some thoughts yesterday, so we'll just bounce off from here. First question is, do you have any tips for couples who just got engaged or are starting to wedding plan? So Ryan had a couple.
Yeah. Try to get a rough idea of how big your guest list is. And once you have a rough size, you can probably start looking for venues. It will be helpful if you group them by location, because if you're already driving out far to, you know, a location, it's good to have it's good to make multiple venue trips.
Whenever I set up the tripod and camera, Ryan gets really nervous. Like last night when we were talking, he was so seamlessly and naturally like talking out loud so that I was typing down notes, but I think it's always nerve-wracking to talk with the camera.
I hate this thing.
But yeah, so basically it's to figure out the rough guest list before you start touring wedding venues, because a lot of them, like, they have a certain capacity, and so there's no point in touring venues that are too small for your guest list. And then Ryan had a really good one. When you're at those venue tours,
Katrina did this, and that is She captured some videos while we were touring, and it ended up being really helpful because once you come home, most likely you're not going to remember what the layout of the venue is. You're not going to remember how you felt about the place. So it's really good to have video footage to look back on and remind yourself, oh, this is what the venue looked like. This is what this section of the venue is.
I think Ryan's emphasis here was that he thinks videos are better than photos, or if you are taking photos, that's fine, but don't only take photos because videos really get to capture that like live reaction and what it looks like in real life. And then my tip was make sure to not 0.5 lens everything, because when you have that wide lens, everything looks bigger and it kind of distorts what the space actually looks like. So it's fine to have that to get a bigger view of things, but then also just kind of go into regular view so that you can remember it in its more accurate representation. Second tip is just like a logistical thing. I found it really helpful to create a separate email just for wedding stuff. I personally always compartmentalize my emails. Like I am always logged into like 5 emails at one time, and it really helps me just organize everything. And it also helps when I'm looking back for like, oh, what's one person's quote or what's something we talked about? I know that everything is in that one email, and then we both have access to it, so we're both logged into it.
Yeah, have a wedding email.
Yeah, I said way too much.
No, that was good.
Yeah? Okay. Third one is kind of a long one. But I had written down that I think it was really helpful to talk through things together, like, and understand that you may be talking about the same thing multiple times, but to not get tired of it. Just try to like really be patient, because I think wedding planning can be very deeply emotional and hard to navigate because it kind of forces you to tackle areas that you may not reflect on a daily basis, and they're really like quite big topics or big things to think about. Relationships in your life, right? Priorities, money, that's a big conversation to have with your partner, and to dive into your own relationship with money can be really difficult. Family, friends, value, like your timeline on life, all these big questions come up, and I definitely found that therapy was really helpful during that time. I think we both talked to our respective therapists about like asking bridesmaids and groomsmen. Like that process evoked some anxiety and thoughts in both of us, and it was really helpful to talk it through and just to navigate these, you know, kind of challenging thoughts and feelings and not feel like, oh, you just want to give up. Because I think a lot of times online you see that rhetoric of, why don't you just elope? It's so much easier. But that's not really the point. I think that's not our goal. That's not what we're looking for. We are looking to try to like figure this journey out, but just to be patient with yourself and your partner as you all are doing that. Oh, and then Ryan had a good one.
Yeah.
You just read off of it.
No, I have to be awkward. One tip I have as you and your partner are planning which vendors to go with is, for these consultation calls, I think it's a good idea to join them together, because even if you don't think you know much about, I don't know, flowers or whatever the vendor might be doing, just being present will help you learn stuff. And if you're on that call later on, your partner and you might be able to bounce ideas off of each other based on the conversation from the call, what the vibes of the vendor is like. There were some cases where maybe we ended up liking them more after talking to them, or we ended up liking them less after talking to them. So it's really important to join these calls together so you can be on the same page.
We always say after every call, it really helps us in our decision-making process too. Like sometimes we get off a call and Ryan's like, oh, I think we found our, you know, blank vendor. And so those calls can really make a difference, and just having each other to just be there as support, and also to be the leading person when you're more well-versed in that. So for florals and photography, I think I was a little bit more like the person talking, but then for DJ, Ryan really took the reins on that meeting, because he is a little bit more particular and knows more about music than I am. And so I was like, all right, you take the front chair, you know, and
I'm the music man.
I always say that, you're no music man. But yeah, so I just think it's been really helpful, and I always appreciate having each other on the call.
Yeah, plus have a call with the vendor, even if you think they're too expensive, because we were able to sometimes figure out like a new price or like some discounts, or don't disqualify a vendor based on the prices you find online.
Yeah, on multiple occasions, as we were talking to vendors, they offered us a discount during the call. We didn't ask for it, they just kind of offered it to us. And I think a lot of times people are like, oh, it's so rude to ask for discounts, whatever. But a lot of times there is a little bit of wiggle room and they may offer it too. So don't close that door before, you know.
I think vendors in the wedding industry understand how expensive weddings can get, and that everyone is trying to stay within a certain budget. So they might be able to give you a custom package, or they might be able to give you like a discounted cash price, or whatever it may be. So if you like a vendor, don't be discouraged by their pricing.
Next question is, are you having a traditional Chinese tea ceremony? Yes, we will, but it'll be kind of separate. So we are having like 2 different wedding days, just because we originally tried having like one Western wedding and inviting all, you know, family and friends, but we were quoted like 6 digits for that number, and that's just way out of our budget. And so we really sized down. We're having 2 weddings, one that's more intimate, smaller, for immediate family and friends, and yeah, to be transparent, that's the one we're paying for. And then we're having another day where we're gonna have the tea ceremony, and then a dinner at a local restaurant, and then that's the one our parents are gonna pay for. That's the one where we're gonna invite extended family, and so that's going to be the more traditional, like Chinese wedding day. So the next question is, what are our opinions on kids and +1s? So because we're having those 2 weddings, it's very different. For the smaller wedding, no kids. And then for the bigger like Chinese banquet dinner, we are going to allow kids of our family to come. For +1s, I'm gonna mainly be talking about the smaller wedding, the one we're going to be planning. I would say we're pretty strict on our +1s. We haven't finalized our guest list yet, but it's been pretty hard in terms of like, I think you had said the guest list is the hardest part, like figuring out who to invite, because
it is freaking hard.
Yeah, it's really hard. Ryan always says like, I just want to invite everyone, but when we calculate those numbers, like we can't invite everyone. It just adds up so fast. Basically, we're only inviting the significant other of someone if we're close and cool with both people in that couple. And I know this is a very unpopular opinion. I've gone on so many Reddit forums, threads, TikToks, see people in the comment sections getting so mad. But basically, because there's so many people that we want to invite that we actually can't even invite because of budget constraints, if we had that extra space or extra money, we would rather invite a friend who's currently like on the maybe than a significant other that we don't really know. And so it's not that, we don't like them or don't acknowledge their relationship or whatever, but it's just, it's really hard to prioritize.
Maybe it's selfish, but it's okay because it's for our wedding, right?
I think, at the end of the day, it's like we're the one paying for it, and we would rather celebrate and be with people that we really know. And if that's not okay with the person, then
that's okay.
Then they don't have to come. Yeah, they don't have to come. And then last question is, will you share your budget? We're undecided on this, but we're feeling very uneasy about it. If we were ever to share, it would definitely only be after the wedding, because we're currently like actively still budgeting and in the process of figuring all that out. I just feel like sharing your budget just invites a lot of judgment and projection and budget shaming, because weddings are freaking expensive. Like, if you haven't planned a wedding yet, whatever you think a wedding costs, I think it costs more than that. And it's not like a reckless or simple decision that we made either. We're struggling every day with trying to figure out, the budget and justifying it for ourselves and reasoning and talking with it. And it just doesn't feel good to hear people making these judgments and criticisms, or like, I would rather spend that on a down payment. Oh my gosh, I would rather travel the world. It's like, it's totally cool if you would rather do that. It just starts eliciting like defensiveness in me that I don't really want to just invite if it's not helpful, because we had said we only want to share it if it's really helpful. And I think the only people who would it be helpful for are people wedding planning or looking to potentially have a wedding in the future and seeing if, you know, what kind of wedding they might be able to plan or afford. All that to say is that we don't know yet.
I think, like,
What?
there's nothing to share right now because
Yeah.
our budget is still changing.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end we'll consider it again, but it doesn't. I don't know if sharing our budget will be a good idea for the reasons you mentioned, like inviting judgment and stuff, but we still want to help people who are, you know, in the middle of budgeting too, and if they think hearing numbers would help.
Like if people, you know, in our lives were planning a wedding and they like
Yeah.
one of our vendors and they messaged us, we'd be happy to share, yeah, like how much certain things cost or what we're looking for. But what we found is that you can kind of find vendors that span a huge price range for each category. It just depends on what your vision is. And so, for example, like if you want a photographer, you can find someone that's $10,000 if that's your budget. You can find someone for $2,000 if that's your budget. And so it really just depends on what you're looking for. And so it's not really like, oh, because we spent a certain amount of money on a vendor means that is how much it costs. It's just like anything out there, right? There's different ones, and it's really about picking someone that matches whatever you're looking for and your style. Yeah.
If we ever release a video of the wedding and you guys think a vendor looks cool, just ask us how much and we'll tell you personally,
Yeah.
but not publicly
Yeah.
online for
Yeah.
everyone to see.
It's scary. It's scary. Anyway, so thank you all. Hope this was helpful or interesting, and let's get into us practicing how to model for photo shoot.
What?
No, this is where the vlog is gonna go.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like a lot of things. I'd probably start with.
I like the way she smiles. She got me staring for a while. Got me staring for a while. Yeah, yeah. Baby, it's our conversation. She's my favorite notification. She knows how to dress for special occasions. She got me thinking life could be better. These songs start to feel like love letters. I should tell her now, would I ever? It is what it is, man, whatever. Whatever, yeah, whatever. I'm telling you now, it's whatever. Whatever, yeah, whatever. I'm telling you now, it's whatever. She keeps me close. In the friend zone? Yeah, but I don't mind it too much though. Why? If my feelings don't show, say it ain't so, man, you should know that I've been saying no, but maybe you're the one I've been looking for so long, so long.
We are gonna go to Irvine again, which is the place where Ryan proposed, and we're gonna take some pictures at the actual chairs that we kind of like sat at many years ago. And then we're also gonna go to the beach. So we're gonna do like 2 different outfits, and the first one is just like, well, not this one, it's gonna be that white t-shirt, but a very like casual, inspired by those Korean photographer and photo shoots that we always see, where they're just wearing like light denim bottoms, white shirt, and just kind of being very playful. And then we're gonna go to the beach, wear more like kind of clean white beige outfits, and see how it looks. We did some posing practice the other day. Yeah, it was kind of hard, so we'll see how it goes, and hopefully we get at least a few good pictures to show you all. Bye bye. Cleaning the bird poop off those chairs. He's having his worst allergy day of his life.